Hey YouTube, Salsasp here with another boss guide for PSO2. Today I'm going to be covering the newest boss addition to the PSO2 NA servers, Magatsu. Though this boss isn't as complicated as a boss like the Luther, it has many mechanics that aren't very intuitive to new players. There are two quests associated with this boss, one in which you fight Magatsu on foot, and one in which you fight multiple Magatsus in a mech suit. During the urgent quest in which you fight Magatsu on foot, your main objective is to suppress him within a time limit or before he breaks through all three gates. In the other Magatsu quest, you have to defeat as many Magatsus as you can before the time runs out. I'll be covering both these quests, so now, let's get into the video. Magatsu has 4 main weak points located all over his body, in the form of faces. These aren't just any faces though, as they are visually distinct from the other smaller faces located on his body. As shown on the diagram on screen, these main weak points are located on Magatsu's abdomen, both of his shoulders, and his head. The best order for attacking the faces is left knee, abdomen, left shoulder, right shoulder, and then head. When a face is broken off on these points, a red face will be revealed, and a ledge will open up next to it, which allows melee-oriented classes to be able to effectively damage the weak points. These spots are where your team should focus most of their damage throughout the fight. It is recommended that ranger classes weaken these spots to further increase your team's damage output. When a weak point has taken enough damage, it will break and take less damage. When this happens, your team should move on to another weak point. These weak points aren't the only things that can be broken though. Among the main weak point faces on Magatsu are smaller faces which can shoot projectiles and are more easily broken. It is recommended that you focus the small faces on Magatsu's knees, as when they are destroyed it causes him to kneel down for a time. Destroying other faces isn't necessary unless you are having trouble dodging the projectiles that come from them. Now that we've covered how to damage Magatsu, let's go over the mechanics of the quest itself. Every time one of Magatsu's faces is broken, your team will be granted a blessing. These blessings are mostly stat boosts and PP recovery boosts. However, the most important boost is gained after destroying the first face, which should be one of the knees. When this happens, your team will gain an extremely boosted jump height, which allows you to reach the weak spots of Magatsu. Throughout the quest, your team will also encounter various sub-objectives such as dodging attacks. Failing these objectives does not harm quest progress, but succeeding in them will net more rewards at the end of the mission. The most important sub-objective, however, is the Restraint Objective, in which you must fire ballistas at Magatsu in order to restrain him to the ground. These ballistas are located on a rooftop near Magatsu. This objective usually occurs 3/4 of the way through the quest, and if you succeed, you will be rewarded with almost 30 seconds of damage to Magatsu's main head. Onto the attacks of Magatsu, most of them are very telegraphed and easy to avoid. The lasers that drop from the sky are indicated by a purple light below your character, which you can dodge out of to avoid the attack. The most troubling attack in this fight is his main energy blast, which he will release in a radius around his body after doing a laser attack, and this blast inflicts very heavy damage. If you see the boss shooting multiple people with purple lasers from the sky, then it is likely that you will follow it up with an energy blast. Finally, we have the second Magatsu urgent quest where you fight him with mechs. All damage mechanics are mostly the same this time around, except you fight 3 Magatsus instead of 1. The only troubling part of this section is getting accustomed to the abilities of your mech. I recommend spamming the sword attack on weak points, and then using the gun to regen PP. Also, make sure to make use of your weaken, heal, and photon laser located on the sub-palette. The third Magatsu, which is golden, and does have slightly different damage mechanics. You must destroy the shoulders and the head before you can attack the abdomen. Now that we've covered how to damage Magatsu, and the intricacies of the quest, it's time to wrap up the video with a recap. Magatsu's weak points are 4 faces located around his body, and your team should attack in a specific order for maximum efficiency. Do note that the order I've shown isn't mandatory for defeating the boss, it is only recommended. Breaking smaller faces does not damage the boss. When you have the objective of restraining Magatsu, use the ballistas. When Magatsu's weak points have taken enough damage, they will lose their critical value. Do enough combined damage to weak points and Magatsu will be defeated. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you found this guide useful, and until next time, stay beautiful my fellow operatives.